we're gonna go through this video because again, you should already know. So tuko is tiki, right? Another word is tiki. Laktao is a root word for this one, but you can say with conjugation, you can say things like mulaktao or laktawi, right? Laktawi. And laktao means to skip over, to miss out on something. So meaning you can skip over an event, you can skip over an episode, you can miss out on those. You can also use this when you're walking, let's say, laktao, right? You're passing by a house, you're skipping over a house, maybe 2 or 3 houses you skip by, laktao. You skipped over some trees or rocks, you missed out on them, you're just walking by, you passed them in a way. Angal means reklamo. So ayog angal, ayog reklamo. Pangandoy means to hope, desire, or crave for something. You're longing for something, right? Oh well, in your life, and you're craving for something to happen. You're longing for something to happen, or you're longing for something in your life, right? Orasan is relo. Tiong tiong is similar to piong, right? Tiong is the same as very similar to piong in the sense that they both mean to squint your eyes or squint your eyes or like kind of close it in a way like that, but to squint. But tiong is more like to squint your eyes when light is being shined at it because it's too bright, right? That's tiong tiong. Sak means to shuffle, right? Or maybe you're shuffling playing cards in a deck, or something like that, right? You're shuffling cards, papers, something like that, right? Sak ugbalik, right? You're shuffling and returning. Suksok means to plug or shove or stuck or just jam something somewhere, right? You're gonna shove maybe things where it's very tight fitting, or you're gonna plug something like an outlet. You're gonna plug electric cords in an outlet. You're just shoving something in something, right? You're shoving it, you're sticking in there, you're plugging in something, you're sticking it up there, right? You're trying to make it fit. Bitag means mousetrap. Dagsa means to be washed away, right? Somewhere along the shorelines, okay? So to be washed away, maybe like fish was washed away, debris was washed away from an accident, or maybe stuff like that, right? It's just washed away. Maybe there was a flood, and after the flood, like things from houses washed away in the sides of a neighborhood, right? Dagsa is like that's the word. Lingo, right? Lingo means to shake your head no, like you're shaking it. Nuh-uh. It's usually something negative, like oh no, something negative, right? Akin means to move your legs restlessly while you're sitting. So sometimes people can be sitting down idly and you're moving your knees side to side, or your hips, or not hips, but your thighs and knees side to side or up and down, your legs, right? You're just sitting down waiting for something and you're just moving, because you can't stand or you can't sit still. So this is the verb akin, right? Akin. Talabong is a heron, like those birds with the long, they have like long legs, and with a beak that they usually sit on a carabao or something like that, or a back of an elephant or a hippo, and they're just there, right? Or a water buffalo, and they're the birds that have the long legs. Tibugul is something to be lumpy, or to be forming of clumps and lumps, right? Usually this is for like in terms of like the dirt in the earth, where you can form lumps. Like if I get a handful of clay and dirt and I just make it into a lump, that's a tibugul. It can also mean like lumps in your body. Maybe it was like cancer or tumors and stuff like that, breast cancer, lumps, like that, right? Bugul, tibugul, right? Bugul is actually the root word here, bugul, but tibugul is also a separate word which means lumpy. And bugul just means lumps, like lump. Maybe you have a lump on your head because you bumped it. Bugul. Now, it can also mean for like other objects like milk. Like, oh, milk is turning sour or something like that. It became really clumpy and lumpy, like in terms of food, like it's very lumpy food. So it can be like that in terms of clumps and lumps. And finally, we have sagyad, and sagyad, it means to be touching the ground, right? So you can use this to describe curtains that are touching the ground because it's too long. Oh, the curtain is touching the ground. Nagsagyad ang cortina. It's touching the ground because it's too long. Or when you're sitting as a kid, your feet didn't touch the ground on a chair because you're too short. Dili nasagyad ang iyang tiil sa log, right? It's not touching the ground because you're too short. So it's just things just to be touching the ground and, I don't know, being contaminated, I guess, but just touching. All right.